Hey everybody, welcome to the Song Revolution podcast, brought to you by Nashville Christian Songwriters. Nashville Christian Songwriters exists to empower Christian songwriters worldwide. I'm John Chisholm, and this podcast exists to bring you valuable songwriting insights, inspiration, interviews, and just all around good fun with some of the greatest songwriters, producers, arrangers, artists, and creatives, and beyond. You can find out a whole lot more about us at NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com. Hey everybody, John Chisholm. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of your time out today to be with us here on the Song Revolution podcast. I have to tell you, I am just fired up. We have just come off of our very first NCS Song Power Week 2018 that happened January 22 through 27, 2018. I don't know when you are listening to this, maybe up in the year 2058 or something like that, but I'm probably still excited if I'm on the planet. But I'm telling you what, it was explosive. It was powerful. We did 6 days of Facebook Live. And, you know, gosh, if you're listening in 2058, that's old hat, if it's even still around. But right now in 2018, Facebook Live is still a little bit of a new medium. And I had a really good friend who tricked out his basement performance area to, it was just unbelievable. The lights, the sound, the Wirecast high-end professional broadcast software that this dude installed just to help us out for NCS Song Power 2018. I can't tell you who he is, but God bless you, Jimmy. Thank you so much for all you've done for us. We had today's guest, Jared Anderson, was with us, and we're going to hear from him again in just a few moments. Actually, what I'm going to do is I want to bring back the interview from Song Power Week with Jared on this podcast, just in case you missed it. And even if you caught it the first time, you're going to be blessed by it again. We had John Thurlow over from International House of Prayer, Kansas City. It's IHOP KC, not International House of Pancakes, but International House of Prayer, Kansas City. They've been having 24/7 worship since 1999. And John Thurlow has been on the Midnight Crew for all these years. He is a worship leader, a songwriter, and he has a brand new album out that is unbelievably good. It's one of my favorite new albums, and John Thurlow was with us. We had people like Jenny Owens, the CCM recording artist who was on Michael W. Smith's Rocketown Records right out of Belmont University about 18 years ago. She's now an independent artist and just knocking them dead. She is so awesome. We love Jenny. She's a friend to our company, and we want to support her every way we can. The Voice Season 7 contestant Jordy Searcy blew us away with an acoustic rendition of his song, Explaining Jesus, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you, Jordy, for being on. We had Jennifer McGill, a former Mickey Mouseketeer, who is now in a dynamic ministry of her own. And her new single, her new album, Unbreakable, is chart-topping and amazing. And we loved having Jennifer on. Let's see, who else do we have? Don Moen, international legendary songwriter and worship leader, and my dear friend and former supervisor at Integrity Music. Don was with us on Tuesday of last week. You know, Don has over 5 million Facebook followers. The dude is legendary, and we're going to be sharing out his interview on a podcast here soon as well. And maybe we'll share all of them out, but I just want you to be blessed. I want you to just tap into all of the great people that we had on NCS Song Power Week 2018. So today's guest, re-guesting, I guess. You know, sometimes you re-gift, right? Somebody gives you that ugly lamp or that ugly clown statue or something that you really don't want in your house, and so you re-gift it. Well, that's not what this is. We are re-gifting to you Jared Anderson because we love him, because we know that you're going to be blessed and you're going to really enjoy this interview with international worship leader and great songwriter Jared Anderson. But before we get there, I'm going to do a little shout out about our March 1, 2, 3 NCS Weekend Intensive happening right here in the Nashville area. This is the second event that we've done like this. We did an NCS Weekend Intensive back in November, and we had about 13 songwriters fly in from all over the country, and it was a powerful time. Let me tell you, we had teaching. I taught 4 sessions. We had song coaches all over the place. We had industry influencers stopping by, such as the inimitable Jenny Owens. She was with us one evening and shared some tremendous song tips and some of her songs. She did kind of a mini concert for us, had dinner with us. It was just a great time to rub shoulders with a bona fide CCM artist who has been successful, continues to be successful 2 decades later. We also had industry mogul John Mays. He's one of my dearest friends. I say that every time because he truly is one of my dearest friends for over 30 years. He was one of the first people that I ever met when I moved to Nashville in 1983 to take a church job that fell through. We had $40 and no place to live. And now all these 35 years later or so, I've had this whole career in the music business. I was just too stupid to ask for, you guys. I didn't know what God wanted to do. And I always think of Ephesians where it talks about God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond all that we can ask or think. And he certainly did that for me. But John was one of the first people that I ever met. And John was a bass player in the Singing Spear family, traveling Southern gospel group at that time. He has since gone on to a 30-year career as one of Nashville Christian music's preeminent A&R directors. Now, if you don't know what an A&R director is, we jokingly call that airports and restaurants. But it really means you are over the artist and repertoire of developing certain artists. And John has helped discover and manage such great artists as Point of Grace, Phillips Craig and Dean, Cindy Morgan, and on and on and on, all the way to current times where he is the A&R director at Centricity Music for Lauren Daigle, for Johnny Diaz, Jason Gray, and so many of the great Centricity artists. And John came by when we had our first NCS Weekend Intensive in November, did a bang-up job, just encouraging and inspiring everybody. We had Luke Gamble over from Brentwood Benson Music. He gave us an inside look on what they really look for in publishing all of their fine array of commercial songs, commercial products, all the artist albums, the choral albums, everything that they do. He gave us just a real insider's look into what is happening there. We had Dave Clark from Lillinus Music, who told some of the greatest stories ever. And those of you listening who were at that weekend intensive, we probably will never forget the story of the plastic bat. And I'm going to leave it at that. And hopefully Dave will be able to be back with us in March and we'll clue the rest of you in on what that means. But Dave Clark is a wonderful songwriter, publisher of hundreds and thousands of songs with Lillinus Music, and he is a great friend of ours. And I'm probably leaving somebody out, but we had all of our great song coaches, David Baroni and Rob Corona, myself, Gene Ezel, who's had many, many dozens of Southern gospel songs recorded and probably others that I don't know about. But we're going to have a great roster of coaches with us. The NCS Weekend Intensive is all about 2.5 days of intensive hands-on teaching and coaching for you. So when you come to an NCS Weekend Intensive, it's going to be up close and personal. You're going to bring a couple of songs that you're working on, and you're going to get some immediate, wonderful, powerful, professional level input, coaching, mentoring through this weekend. We're already filling up, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and do a shout out. Space is limited, okay? So I mean that sincerely. So if you're interested in that, if you want to come see Nashville for a couple of days, get the Nashville experience, rub shoulders with industry insiders to get a flavor of what it really means to be a professional songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee, and get the hands-on coaching from high-end professionals, industry influencers such as our NCS team and many of the people like those I've named. You need to go to the website at NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com. Go under the resources link, scroll down about 3 entries, and you'll see NCS Weekend Intensive, and check it out. I've actually got the entire itinerary, agenda, if you will, right there on the website so that you can read almost hour by hour what we plan to do. And let me tell you, my expectations were high last November, but what happened was off the chains. So you'll be seeing some things come out from us on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all about NCS Weekend Intensive over the next few weeks, but you really need to take advantage of it. Jump in now, grab your wife, grab your husband, come on down to Nashville, Tennessee for some fantastic hands-on song coaching for NCS Weekend Intensive. I could sit here and talk all day long about the things that I think are just so amazing about what God is allowing us to do here at NCS. We're here to empower Christian songwriters worldwide, and we do that in a complete array of content that is free all the way up to our premium NCS Bootcamp. So if you're interested in hearing any more about anything that we do, drop us a line at info at NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com. We'd love to interact with you and help you tap in to whatever it is going to take you to the next level in your songwriting in 2018. So without any further ado, I just want to go ahead and get into the episode with Jared Anderson. He was on our podcast back in October, and he's just one of our favorite guys. He is so awesome. He brings such a down-to-earth but heavenly perspective on songwriting, on worship leading, on life. The guy's got 6 kids and a wife, and they live on a farm, and they harvest eggs, and they probably have goats and all that, but he's an internationally known, loved, popular worship leader. He's the writer of the songs Great I Am, Rescue, Lord I'm Amazed, Glorified, so many amazing songs when he was with the Desperation Band and also with New Life Fellowship in Colorado Springs. So whether or not you saw him on NCS Song Power Week 2018 last week or not, I think you're going to really enjoy our friend, songwriter, worship leader, Jared Anderson. So with all that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Jared Anderson. And Jared is, he's someone whose songs I have sung for many, many years. Not that he's that old, because I'm a lot older than he is, but I have sung practically all of his songs. And so he wrote Great I Am, Rescue, Glorified, so many more that are awesome. Great I Am. And so without any further ado, all the way from Colorado Springs, Colorado, would you guys please welcome Jared Anderson? Yay! Jared, man, it's good to see you, dude.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being here. So you were just going to be in Nashville doing some other biz and hanging out, and it just worked out for you to be in studio with us.
I'm glad it did.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so it's we're hoping that the weather kind of holds off. We're supposed to have this big lightning storm today, but we're so far so good. So a little Nashville welcome.
It's good to be here in the rain.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Well, tell us a little bit. I mean, you were on our podcast just a couple of months ago. Mm-hmm. Great podcast. If you guys haven't caught that, go to iTunes, go to our site, NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com, look at podcast, and look for Jared's episode. It's actually one of my faves. We did it over Skype. Mm-hmm. And but tell us, because I know you, and I know a lot about you, give us kind of the thumbnail of, because I know that you're the reluctant worship leader, worship songwriter. You're the worship leader that almost didn't happen. So kind of help us, kind of bring us up to speed on that.
Man. It's unpacking the whole, right? Peel away the onion. Grew up in the church in a very, very alive community of people that are very passionate about the Lord. And just kind of wrestled to find my place, like kind of had a battle of, is this really what I want to do? Is this cool? Yeah. That's a big question. Yeah.
And you were how old when you were kind of going through these wrestlings?
All through high school and college. Yeah. Kind of wrestling with it, even into my early years on staff at a church of what am I doing? Is this the right thing? There's a great big world out there. Why am I in the 4 walls? So wrestling those questions down. What are the desires that God's put in my heart? And am I dignifying those desires? That I wrote a song early on called "I Think I'll Charge Tickets to the Sunset."
I love that.
That kind of, even the idea of pursuing music full time felt like charging tickets to the sunset. Like, I didn't ask for this gift. I enjoy this so much, and am I really going to try and make a living at this? Those kind of tendencies, like if you have something, then you all of a sudden have this pressure maybe to start capitalizing on it. But why? Are you polluting what you've been given by trying to capitalize on it? Is ambition a good thing or a not so good thing? How do you manage that? So that's why I really am thankful for what you're doing to kind of walk alongside people in navigating that balance, tension, and for helping people be wise with their gifts while keeping the well clean. So that's a huge task that you need coaches and shepherds to help navigate that territory.
That's awesome. So this thing for you really is more, it's more about calling than talent then, if I'm hearing your heart at all. That you had talent, you had ability, and yet you wrestled with the deeper issues of, do I charge for the sunset?
Right.
And what are the moral, ethical, scriptural, parameters around this thing?
Right.
And because, you talk to a lot of songwriters, I talk to a lot of songwriters who want to make money. They want to get in the business of music. And yet, I guess, do they all, we have no way of knowing how deeply they wrestle with it. But for you, you definitely did.
Sure.
How did you resolve any of that?
Man, it's been a fight to resolve it. I had to give place to okay, this that I'm being asked to do, like to go and lead worship, it's not going to fill my greatest heart's desire. Using my gift, my talent, is just the opportunity the Lord's opened for me to connect with people and to serve people. But my heart is a bigger space that needs its own tending to. Because so often when we run in as young people, we run in with all of our hearts to the task that we've been given. And that's kind of a dangerous thing, because a job is not going to satisfy the longings of your heart, because a job is not big enough. A number one hit is not going to satisfy the longings of your heart, because it's not big enough. Your heart is bigger than that. So how do you navigate the tension between your heart and your gift? So making space for your heart, knowing what fills it and what depletes it, and gathering support friendship is huge, to gather people around you that care for your heart and not just your gift. And then you can walk out the opportunities of your gift with a whole heart.
Oh, that's rich.
Knowing that your heart isn't on the line. So that's a huge place to grow. And, healing is never done. So we're all still on the journey.
Yeah.
But to take those steps to protect, nurture, make room for my heart, and then look at my gift.
Wow.
And not get the two wires crossed.
Wow, that's
pretty huge.
That's fantastic. And you see a lot of people who wind up losing their heart,
right?
Because they're chasing their gift and they're chasing, I guess, the capitalization of their gift, right? And
we want acknowledgement that we have a good heart, and we think by getting our gift up the ladder that's going to be achieved, and it rarely is.
Right. That is so true, man. So what fills your heart? And what depletes it?
Sure.
Give us a little both.
Oh, man. Well, developing and cultivating friendships that acknowledge what's inside my heart to do and can name it and witness it. Those people have become so invaluable to me. And that takes time. That's inconvenient. It really has nothing to do with my job and my work. It has to do with my community and my pool of friends. So those people fill my heart and can see the journey, that know the story of it. I've been so many times out on the road going, right now, no one in the world actually knows where I am. And they might know my location, but they don't know the location of my heart. So who's got the GPS on where my heart is? Those people. And then to go into a situation where you're leading worship or, a broadcast where we need to be done at this time. This is what we need to accomplish. These are the things.
Yeah.
I can go in and do that well, and I can meet people there and not come away like, oh my gosh, I'm so drained because no one knows where I am, right? I have that in the store to offer to people, because it's really good to offer people what you have and not what you don't have.
Yeah, or what you wish you had.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's so true, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I hear you talking about is just living authentically, living from that place of just being real with yourself, and making sure that you've got the heart care, the soul care in place before you attempt to broadcast and take what you're not to the world, right?
Right. So much better. And then you have so much more to give.
And the glitz and glamour of all this, I mean, we've got a Nashville sign. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, we've got curtains and guitars, and we're looking cool today. My face is washed. I actually slept a little bit, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes into all of this. That people don't see, the hard work as well as just the prep. I mean, you were a classical music major, right?
Yeah.
So you have chops. You have actual skills, that a lot of people try to come into this thing and maybe don't have. And I'm trying to tie this in with what you just said about not presenting yourself for what you're not, because they want to come to this and succeed at a level that maybe they're not going to get to because they haven't really prepared themselves, right? I mean,
I think is so often the biggest thing we're doing with success is comparing.
Exactly. That's really what I was trying to get to.
Which is so hard, right? And for instance, I do write and I do sing and I do perform, but I don't produce and I don't engineer. So I have friends that write and produce and engineer and sing and do all of these things, and I can be so disappointed that I don't have that. And I can start to measure my success by so-and-so has a number 6 hit song when I have a number 10 and I've got further to go. All those things drain the tank.
Yeah.
Then when I could be happy for the guy who got number 6 and know that I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, that's so good because, again, you and I both deal with a lot of songwriters, and I think that we all make a mistake when we make the yardstick, the measurement of our worth, exactly what you just said, whether we get signed to Integrity or to Centricity or whatever. And you've cycled through the deals, right?
Sure.
And now you're independent, or you still with a label?
I'm not with a label right now.
Yeah, so you've kind of lived the gamut. You kind of walked through this whole thing, and here you are still doing amazing things, still reaching out on a global level with what you're doing. So, but psychologically, spiritually, to compare ourselves and say we're not a success if we don't get those things.
Right.
That's just bogus. It's just depleting. And I believe God's doing a new thing. I don't know if you're sensing this, but I believe God wants to do something that's so outside what the norms have been. And I love the labels. I love the radio. I love everything. And we want to support them. Lots of great people doing all that. Some of our dearest friends, right? But the world's bigger. Like you're talking about your heart being bigger. The world's bigger. The world needs the songs of these people that are watching us.
Right.
And so we're trying to come along and help them. And Todd Bartles is asking, I think a lot of us suffer from illusions of grandeur for the songs we write. Do you have help deciding which ones are actually worth proceeding to work on? Do you have a voice of truth that lets you know which ones are not as good as you think they are? Yeah, I'm the voice of truth.
Yeah.
I know it all, right? Just call me up. We're going to help you. It's all subjective, really, Todd, and everybody listening. I mean, there are different functions for different kinds of songs. And one of the tools that I use when I'm coaching songwriters is a thing called the song continuum. It's very, very simple. But on the far left are the devotional songs. They don't have hooks. They don't really have a defined melody. We call them prophetic songs, kind of more in the charismatic world, right? Where we could just flow in the Spirit and sing a song right now that would never be repeated, or when you're in your prayer closet. And those are songs just between you and the Lord. The song of your heart, you just give to the Lord. Then everything in the middle, from children's songs, scripture memory songs, choral songs, all kinds of more developed songs, all the way over to to your far right, which would be the commercial area, which would be whether they're commercial worship songs or commercial radio songs that are crafted very particularly for that format. But that doesn't discount all the rest of the continuum, right?
Sure.
Because the world's big. We need prophetic songs. We need scripture memory songs and children's songs. We need all kinds of things. So, Todd, it's hard to answer your question because of that fact. And so you have to look at the context, right, Jared? I mean, what context is this song going to be
But
put in?
I think you can start, and I would encourage you to start over on the left side of your continuum, in the prophetic, spontaneous, unhindered, my heart is full, I need to sing this, it's an outpouring. And I think you can walk this from an idea to a commercially accessible spot. I think that is almost the name of the game, or the journey of a song, to say, how do I take this idea and pull out the truth and maybe the universalism or the accessibility of this truth, and maybe some of the imagery needs to change in it to make it more accessible. Don't
you think it's the form?
Sure.
Form.
Totally.
For accessibility.
Right. But I think community gets to speak into the form. A lot of people, like if you go to a prophetic worship service, they don't want commercial songs.
Right.
Like we don't.
What does that
We
mean?
don't want a polished 3-minute beginning, middle, and end journey. Like that's jarring. Like give me one thing to repeat and like let me soak that in further. I don't need like some polished little hook. Like give it to me. Repeat it. Give it to me strong. Give it to me intense, and then also sensitive and soft and like.
Yeah, because it's more about atmosphere at that point, right? And the anointing of the Holy Spirit more than it is a hook.
Sure, more of a presence rather than maybe a more of a product or a result.
That's good. But I think presence can come from the product too. Obviously, your songs. I mean, we sang "Great I Am" Sunday a week ago at our church here in Nashville, and I'm telling you, I mean, I go there with that song. It's just, I'm sure millions of people do. So.
If I had a formula for how that happens, that's right. But it can happen.
Yeah. But I love what you're saying. Start on the far left. Make sure that your heart is filled and anointed. And John Thurlow from IHOP, Kansas City. Do you know John at all?
He's from Colorado Springs.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knew him when he was much younger.
Sweet. Well, he's going to be on this week, and
Good.
he does that all the time. He's with all the prophetic worship they do at IHOP. And if you don't know IHOP Kansas City, they've been doing 24/7 worship since 1999.
It's not the pancakes.
Not International House of Pancakes, but of Prayer.
International House of Prayer.
Yeah, I haven't been out there lately. I was there. I've been there twice.
Oh, really?
It's been impactful both times, and Forerunner music, great people. I mean, I don't know how many records they've done in all these years, but it spawned a whole record label, publishing. Just from the whole spontaneous. So there's definitely a place for all.
Absolutely. 'Cause I have seen you in the colors of the evening, and I know just how this night will go. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's just how the night will go. People ask me if I know the road I'm taking. But to be honest, not a clue. But the future's just a question of belonging. And tonight, the night belongs to you. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's just how the night will go. And you're speaking in a language that's coming from your eyes, and I'm flying with the angels. It should come as no surprise that love will be the anchor to get us through these times. But tonight I am a sailor with only one word to describe: beautiful. That's just how the night will go. And beautiful, that's just how the night will go. Reason why you let me in, sat me by your richest friends, wisdom and love. And I forget the reason why you held me close, clothe me in your righteousness, and call me your own. And there must be more, but I can't get past your kindness. There must be more, can't get past your kindness. And I forget where every tear I've cried is kept. You're teaching me the dancing steps into your heart. Must be more, but I can't get past your kindness. And there must be more, but I can't get past your kindness. 'Cause when I'm in your presence, your heart awakens all my senses. I can't believe this love so endless beckons me. And there must be more, but I can't get past your kindness. And there must be more, but I can't get past your kindness.
Beautiful. Beautiful, buddy. You want to do any more? You want to come back and talk? What's you feeling? All right, he's coming back over. All right, you guys, sorry for the technical issues. My mic was off, and it was my fault because I went to the bathroom before our broadcast. And I totally turned it off, man. I mean, I didn't want it to be.
Right. Trying to do a good thing for everyone.
I know. So there you go. The truth is out. It was totally my fault. At least they were hearing me from your mic. Man,
oh, okay.
Dude, that was beautiful. Sorry to ruin the moment with the potty thing, but
not at all.
Dude, man, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
Now, are those from recent stuff, or is this something? Tell us where those are from.
Not really released yet. So
okay. Little sneak peek.
A little exclusive, perhaps.
There you go. There you go. That's awesome, man. Yeah. So you guys be sure and check out. It's jaredanderson.com.
Yep.
Yeah. And I want you to talk about you've got an event coming up, a Songwriters Retreat. There's a couple of spots left.
Right.
And so all the overflow that don't come to yours can come to ours. But love to have you share about that. I'm so tempted to jump on a plane and be out there myself. So tell us a little bit about that and how to access what you're doing and how to just kind of get into your world.
Started co-writing, writing with other people, and I'd always just written by myself. And in the community of our church and Desperation Band and that whole jazz, it wasn't like we didn't really collaborate a ton. I think when you're first stepping into a gift, you're not really sure how the process is so new and so elusive, like lightning strikes when you're driving in the car and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I'm writing a song. And, and then being kind of held by the hand with publishers and whatnot of like, hey, we'd love for you to like sit down with someone that you've never met before and actually try and write a song, which is scary. How do I do that? How do I know if it's any good? How do I know if I'm any good? It feels really vulnerable. So was running around making friends with people who are great writers, great worship leaders in a great community, doing the thing, making projects, but have never really sat down with someone that's from another part of the country, a whole nother context, and shared that experience. So it's like, wow, could we do that where it's not a whole lot of guests or teaching sessions and more like we could go and actually do the work. So it sounds daunting and like scary for many, but it's an invitation to maybe something new, and we want a safe environment to be able to take that next step and make sure you're supported so that you can be released. And so we did one in 2012, 2013. We went through an adoption process. We adopted 2 kids from Haiti. And so we took some years off, and now we're kind of re-engaging that. So super looking forward to it. And asserting and really putting some intention over people's hearts and design, and then giving them like an invitation to come and practice their gift.
It's awesome. So, and there's a name for it. It's
Co-Write Community.
Co-Write Community. Find out at Jared, or go to .com. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's coming up February 6th through the 9th. So it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
And super pumped.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm going to make it. Maybe not this time, but when you do the next one. So,
cheers.
And for those of you who don't make Jared's, be sure and check out NCS Weekend Intensive. We'll talk more about that a little bit later, but want to support Jared and all that he's about. What's your favorite way to interact with people in your social?
Oh gosh, being social, man.
I think I put about 45 pictures of you out the last week, man. It's
you got the social thing down. I'm still learning, but no, all the stuff we will respond. And if you reach out, Facebook or Twitter or whatever, I'm pretty good about responding to that stuff.
Cool.
So.
Cool. Well, if you had, we can't like teach songwriting on this. I mean, we're dropping as much content as we possibly can. Obviously, you have resources with Co-Write Community. Co-writing or co-write?
Co-write.
co-write, any dash, like
Nope.
see it, no dash, okay.
No dash.
Just co-writecommunity.com. Obviously, that's what we do with all of our resources. So there's a ton of stuff to learn about this. And I'm not sure that we ever finish learning, right?
Sure.
But if you were to encourage or exhort everyone listening and anybody who's going to watch this later on and encourage them and inspire them in their songwriting, is there anything in particular that you'd say to them?
Sure. Songwriting is a way of storytelling. And the best thing you can do is find the story and serve the story. The ultimate story is the story of Jesus. But we're all any good storytelling is borrowing from the story. So you don't, even if you're in secular fashions, different contexts, even if you're writing fantasy, I don't care if you're writing in Klingon, you are borrowing from the story. So elements of redemption, elements of suffering, elements of creation, all of these things are drawing from the story of which we've based our faith upon. So if you can go into a session and find the story of that ache, the story of that song, the story of a friend of mine, we're writing for his project, went into the Creation Museum in Kentucky with his family, had super inspiring moment of the power of God. He wanted to write that story. So, okay, we go around and every piece of the song needs to point to that story. So, become a student of great stories, student of great language, and a student of prayer, and engaging with the giver of words.
Sweet. It's good. There you have it, folks. I mean, it doesn't get any richer than that. Jared, man, it's been a pleasure having you on. Rich, we could have gone for another hour.
Thanks for the opportunity.
But man, I know you've got to jet onto some other fantastic things around Smash Vegas. So
nice.
You guys keep praying for Jared, his wife Megan, and their 6 kids. Check out co-writecommunity.com and be sure and check out, is there a new release coming with these songs you played, or kind of what are the latest projects?
Probably going to do something in the Christmas zone this year.
Okay.
So
now your recent record is from Where I Am.
Where I Am Right Now.
Where I Am Right Now. Okay.
Yep.
That's close.
Yep.
So check that out. iTunes, your site,
all
wherever.
The stuff.
So something in the Christmas zone.
Yeah.
Jingle bells.
Nice.
Jared Anderson, man, thanks for being on.
Cheers, brother.
All right.
Pleasure.
Blessings.
Hey everybody, I hope that you know by now that we here at Nashville Christian Songwriters are all about empowering you to fulfill your call to become a great Christian songwriter. And the best thing that I think you can do is to join a like-minded community of believing songwriters dedicated to fulfill that call. So I want to invite you to jump over to NashvilleChristianSongwriters.com, even right now, to check out what we call NCS membership, where you can go deeper into all the resources that will kickstart your creativity, unlock hidden songwriting abilities that you didn't even know you had, and take some important steps towards becoming the songwriter that you were born to be. I believe that you were born to be heard, and NCS membership helps you get there. I'll see you next time.